told you that carbs actually speed up your rate of results? Hear me out, because I'm going to give you all the details of how this actually works. So inside your body, you have 8 hormones which regulate your weight. And did you know that the hypothalamus, which is in your brain, and what it does is it communicates all of your hormonal function, okay? And the hypothalamus loves carbohydrates, accessible energy. Now, what we found is lots of people are actually becoming diagnosed with something called hypothalamic amenorrhea, okay? And this is when you lose your cycle for a prolonged amount of time. And it's normally down to underfueling, poor dieting methods, and over-exercising, and high exposure to physical and mental stresses. And when you lose your cycles, obviously this is incredibly unhealthy for, you know, your bone density, you know, and also for your morale, and being a woman and not having your cycles and having that fear of not being able to reproduce is very stressful. And this is commonly progressively getting worse and worse as the years go on. You know, we're seeing lots of females getting caught with HA. I call it HA because it's quite a long word. And how do we actually come away from this and make sure that we are remaining in a great energy space and we are looking after our hormonal function to be able to sit in a body that we absolutely feel confident and happy with. Now, this book here, No Period, Now What? I purchased when I had HA, and I had HA after I went through my competing phase. I competed for 3 years and in bodybuilding, and I finished my last show, and I had postmenopausal estrogen levels at the age of 22. I hadn't had a cycle for 2 years, and I felt pretty grey in myself, going through that postmenopause stage, and, you know, heavy limbs, groggy, weak nails, bad skin, had lots of difficult symptoms. And for me, you know, I deprived my body of food and really done so much exercise for a lengthy amount of time. My hypothalamus said, we're shutting down your reproductive system because we don't have the energy available to be able to regulate your cycle monthly. And this, as a byproduct, meant that I was actually burning less energy each month compared to someone else that was having a regular cycle. So I'd already gone through a sense of metabolic adaptation where my body wasn't burning as much energy because I wasn't having my reproductive, you know, I wasn't having my cycle. So the hypothalamus needs accessible carbs. So what I had to do to reverse the HA was give my body lots of carbohydrates, easily accessible, over sort of 3 to 4 months, and I managed to regulate my cycles again. But what we want to do is make sure you don't get to where I got to. You know, you don't get to losing your cycles and having HA and having to reverse it, because that's all very, very stressful too. So we make sure that we don't get there by making sure we're giving the body what it needs at the beginning. And you can give your body what it needs and see weight loss results. You don't need to be depriving yourself of fundamental nutrients and you know, enjoyable foods like carbohydrates that we absolutely love. You don't need to be doing that, and it could work against you. So we want to keep your body in a great space. We want to keep your hormones regulated, and we want to keep you you know, in a place where you do have your cycle, because remember, that expels energy each month, okay, just to regulate your cycle. You know, we burn more calories leading up to our cycle, so we shouldn't be in a position where we're trying to alter that in any way or not support our hormone function. So keep those carbs going. If you've had struggles with seeing results, okay, it probably isn't the carbs that are the issue. And I would love to talk with you on a one-to-one basis, and we can really, you know, identify what the issue is, because it may well be the type of carbohydrates, how much you're having of it, you know, what you're having around the carbohydrates as well. What does your life look like? What does your stress look like? What does your sleep look like? What does your hormonal function look like? Have you been diagnosed with any specific you know, hormonal implications? You know, we need to look at the bigger picture, and it probably won't be the carbs that are the problem, okay? So if you do want to explore this in a bit more detail, do feel free to reach me in inbox or comments below. I'd love to talk to you one-to-one on this. HA is something very close to my heart because obviously it happened to me. So If you are going through this right now, or you have lost your cycles, again, please reach out. I'm more than happy to chat with you. But let's keep those carbohydrates coming, because they are so good for you and they are so good for your hormonal function too.